I believe that the most effective training program is the one that fits your psychological profile. Without going into too much details about the neurotransmitter, all that stuff, I just want to touch briefly on a subject that is, are you neuro-driven, muscle-driven, or structure-driven? These are terms I use to explain what gives someone the greatest motivation or satisfaction from a training program. Because I believe that there are only two important things to get maximum results from training. The first one is training hard and focused. The second thing is fixing your weaknesses. Now, to train hard and being focused day in and day out, you have to be motivated by your program. The more your program is something that motivates you and you enjoy, the more likely you are to keep training hard over and over again. So that's why the nature of your program, the type of program you're using, should go along your psychological preference. And the three main preferences are neuro, muscle, structure. I'm going to explain briefly the difference between each of them. Someone who is neurally driven needs that to be satisfied, to feel good about your session, you need to have a strong neural activation. You need to have a strong neural drive. That means producing a high level of force. That means moving the most weight from point A to point B. These people are not motivated as much by getting that strong mind, muscle, and pump connection. What they need is to have that performance of moving heavy weights. That is what is stimulating for them. So these guys are mostly using big compound movement, explosive lift, heavy lift, and even when they're doing isolation work, it's still all about moving most weight from point A to point B. That's why you see people, even when they're doing curls, bodybuilders, using some momentum, yet they're building muscle. Well, the reason is that these people are neurally driven, and to get a good training effect, to be motivated, they just need to feel that nervous system crackling, and that is accomplished by moving the most weight from point A to point B. People who are muscle driven, like me, they need to feel a strong mind-muscle connection. If I'm doing an exercise and I don't feel the muscle being loaded properly, it kills my motivation. Now, I'm going to give you an example. Those who've been following me for a while are aware that for a long while, I focus a lot on super heavy lifting, bench pressing heavy, deadlifting heavy, all that kind of stuff. Well, it's really not me. The only reason I did that is that I'm a very insecure person. I have a very low self-confidence level. And being strong was, I thought, a way for me to feel good about myself by impressing others. I thought that if I impress others, I'm going to get a better level of self-worth. Ended up being not so much. Actually, people don't know that, but I felt like crap all the time. I was unhappy. I was depressive. I was an asshole to my wife. I was antisocial just because I felt bad 100% of the time. That was not the type of training for me. Ever since I started doing mostly mind-muscle connection work, I feel a lot better. I feel happier. I'm a better person. I'm more extroverted just because it feels good, and I'm not creating that neural breakdown. So people who are muscle-driven, to be satisfied with their training, to be motivated, they need to feel that strong mind-muscle connection. For them, moving more weight is not that important. The weight is only a tool. Think about flexing a muscle against resistance, not about moving more weight from point A to point B. I mean, I could lift heavy, but I'm not getting the same muscle contraction. I don't feel good. If I don't feel good, it kills my motivation. If it kills my motivation, I don't train as hard. If I don't train as hard, I don't get the same results. If I don't get results, I lose motivation. Vicious cycle. All right. Now, another type of people, they are structure-driven. People who are structure-driven are those who are naturally more insecure, more cautious, more anxious, very good planners, people who don't like unexpected events, for example. These people will be motivated by mastering a movement, by doing everything perfectly. They are technique geeks. they are not motivated by adding more weight. In fact, adding more weight can actually be demotivating. They are motivated by mastering a pattern. So these people need a program where they focus on the same lift for a much longer period of time so that they can focus on movement, perfection, and precision. If you have an approach where they have to move more weight from point A to point B, it makes them insecure, anxious, they lose motivation, increase in cortisol, less progress. So they really need to adjust the type of training based on your personal psychological profile to get the better results possible.